Guys, come on now, say it ain't so. Not right before Valentine's Day. This is the breakup of the decade. Yo, what is going on, guys? Blackdog Attack here. This is my official first video of the year. Now let's take it back to last year. We were talking about microtransactions in Destiny 2. The Eververse was out of control. 1 year later, news is that Bungie has divorced, they're saying divorced, has divorced Activision. So now, there seems to be two new branching paths for Destiny 3 going forward. In the wake of this week's big news about Bungie's Activision deal ending, letting the developer take full control of Destiny, there are a lot of questions about what comes next. Their immediate concerns though, Bungie says the year 2 roadmap isn't going anywhere, even if this split is more or less effective immediately. But in terms of longer term issues, I think there are some interesting avenues to explore. Now, I'm talking about Destiny 3 specifically, as under the old Activision deal, we probably knew what was going to happen next. 2019 DLC could bring larger fall DLC. 2020 would bring Destiny 3. Now, which would be the exact cadence of D1 to D2, though that fixed timeline is one of the key things that Bungie no longer has to abide by. The most common notion now is that Destiny 3 will not arrive in fall of 2020, given that the rest Activision schedule was a good deal of what made D2 feel unfinished at launch. So I wouldn't be surprised as to see it in spring 2021 or even fall 2021 instead. But anyhow, the fundamental question is whether Destiny 3 will exist at all, at least in the traditional sense. And it just seems like it feels as if there are two branching paths going forward here. Destiny 3. It's possible that Bungie could and would, and I would say should, stick with the model they've been doing, one that has grown Destiny into the series it is today. Now that means Destiny 3 existing as a relatively standard box copy and full sequel, but one that leaves behind the content of Destiny 2, just like Destiny 2 did with Destiny 1. Now, even if this time around Bungie figures out a way to say, bring some gear with you instead of destroying the tower again, and everything in your vault as a result, fundamentally, it would be a totally new game. New zones, new raids, new strikes, new maps, new loot. Most of the last few years being left behind in Destiny 2 to begin the cycle anew. Now the appeal here is that, well, it already worked once, as Destiny 2 was one of the best-selling games of its release year, and even its fans do miss D1. D2 has been able to thrive in its current system, eventually. And it's probably better for sales overall if you're able to stick to a $60 box copy in stores like all other big AAA releases. It's the safest move from a business standpoint. The world of Destiny. The world of Destiny is not literally what I'd call it, but this is the other path. Rather than Destiny 3, Bungie could simply drop the numbers and the concept of a true sequel and current and future Destiny would become just that, Destiny, a forever game. The idea here is that Destiny would emulate World of Warcraft, something fans thought it might do originally, but an idea that didn't pan out. Maybe because of Activision, who wanted more traditional releases, maybe not. But now that Bungie is on their own, they can do anything they want, including experimenting with how they release the series in the future. With this model, Destiny would simply start from where we are now and keep building over time. Instead of replacing anything, the game would just expand with new areas, new raids, strikes, crucible maps, gambit maps, and so on. Picture how Destiny 2 might look if Destiny 1 never got left behind, and was instead simply merged with the current game. That's the idea here. In this case, Destiny 3 might not be a full game release, but instead, effectively, $60 DLC. Something that would expand the world at full price and add as much content as you'd expect from a sequel, but it would contribute to expanding the world instead of replacing it. And it's also my dream for Destiny 1 to someday be ported into this grand, unified Destiny vision. But one thing at a time, I suppose. This is risky. It might be hard to shift from a traditional sense and a traditional release model to a World of Warcraft type model mid-series. If potential players think the $60 Destiny release in 2021 or whatever is just more DLC, that may depress sales further than if a few Destiny game was released with a 3 on the end. Which is probably why Activision wanted this in the first place. And they might think that you have to own D2 to even play the new stuff, when in reality, Bungie would have to craft some sort of solution where 2021 $60 Destiny would launch everything from all 3 to 4 years of Destiny 2 in as it will. This is going to be the harder, riskier path, but it's one I see fans asking about the most by far. I even ask myself that, and one that Bungie has at least be considering, especially if this break from Activision has been in the works for a while. This change could result in some major overhauls of the entire concept of Destiny. Would you pay a monthly subscription for Destiny like people do for WoW? Would you instead play a F2P Destiny that was heavier on microtransactions like Fortnite? Nothing is off the table now that Bungie is free to chart its own course. Now, personally, I'm still wrestling with what I believe would be the best course forward. The World of Destiny sounds appealing, as I put so much time into it. D2, I wouldn't want to lose it, but from a practicality standpoint, I'm just not sure if it would be feasible or the best option for the overall health of the series, even with Activision out of the picture. But perhaps there's a way Bungie can make it work. Where do you want to see Destiny go?